And hello, and good morning. We are live here on Boles.tv, BOLES.tv. I'm David Boles, your host of this human condition extravaganza, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. At least that's our hope. So far, so good, but who knows? We have very weird weather here on the East Coast in the New York City area. It's going to be 80 degrees today, and it's currently 62 degrees and sunny skies. Yesterday was about 70. Next week, it's going to be in the 50s. If that isn't climate change, I don't know what is. It's just a great big giant mess. Now, I need to type something here that is a exclamation point command because I messed it up in the preview. So we'll type Jana. Make sure that our Boles bot is working and not the Streamlabs bot. Because if you're not live like this and you type a exclamation point command, it comes from Streamlabs. Now, if you're in this scene, which I guess is a live scene, and you type an exclamation point command, then our Boles bot takes over, which is better in the way we like it. And because it's so hot in here, we have high humidity. And I have a fan on, I have windows open, so if you hear strange sounds, that's where it's coming from, the open window. And when you have high humidity, at least for me, it affects your contact lenses. And Jan and I both use monovision, which means my left eye is for long-term vision, long-range vision, and my right eye is allegedly for reading or middle ground. Now, I've had this eye be really for reading, which means the middle ground is fuzzy. So if you're walking on the street, it's very dangerous. But if you're at home just working, you never go outside, then it's absolutely perfect. But what it means is if I have long range in this eye and middle range in this eye, if I have to read something up close, I sometimes have to use my reading glasses, which I hate. And my doctor says, well, the way you get around that is you get eye surgery, LASIK, whatever it is, and then you don't have to wear thick glasses. You can just wear thinner glasses and then maybe reading glasses. I said, but if I have the surgery, I would still need reading glasses, right? And my eye doctor said, well, yes, of course. So what's the point? I guess the point is that when I wear my regular glasses, which I never do, they would, instead of being this thick in my left eye, they would be that thick in my left eye, which I guess is an advantage. But boy, LASIK, I thought was going to come down in price, but it's still in the New York City area around $2,500 an eye, and insurance doesn't pay for it. So if you want to get them both fixed, that's $5,000. And I do not believe that is FSA, healthcare savings account, eligible. So when it's have high humidity, everything's fuzzy. I can't see anything. Usually happens when you have eye drops. Put them in a couple of minutes, you can't see, and then everything clears up. So if I have to read something later, I might have to put on my glasses, which I don't like because they're magnifying and they're like a big bug eye, brr, and I'm uglier than usual. Oh my gosh, it's Gordon. Now can I read this? I recently found out that LASIK is not permanent and eventually wears off. I have never heard that. Now that is terrifying. I don't like it. Our friend Kevin Drum, Cal Pundit, Jabber Walking is his website, had all kinds of eye surgery, and he has multiple myeloma, so he's a very sick guy, but doing well. And his eye doctor kept making him going in and in and in and in and in for micro adjustments on his eyes. And Kevin kept going. But now Kevin says his eyes are perfect. Better than 2020. Doesn't have to ever wear glasses again if he doesn't want to. Well, now Dr. Gordon says that's going to wear off, Kevin, so don't get used to it. Of course, everything wears off. I guess as you age and your eyes change, you're in trouble. But it's very hot. I'm already sweaty. I have my fan on, and I can't see anything. Welcome to my day. Now, yesterday, I went for my monthly meeting with my skin doctor. His name is Arthur. He is celebratorily Jewish, and he's 80 years old. And he's strong, and if you have skin cancer, he does not cut it out of you, he burns it off of you. Now, the new kids in school prefer to cut it out, while the old-timers like to burn you. That's why I have these scars on the side of my face. I have 2 scars that are white. He said, oh, no, the white's good. That means it's good. The white is ugly, Arthur. But he's very fit. He looks fantastic. He calls himself a Manny because on the days he's not doctoring, and I think he only goes in a couple of times a week, his wife is also a skin doctor. He's taking care of the grandkids, which I find very funny. He takes them swimming, and he comes back with a very dark tan. And he said, I'm not a good representative of my industry. I said, I know you're not supposed to be in the sun. He said, I know. Don't look. But he loves my skin for some reason. Oh my goodness, my friend Gordon just sent me an email. Now this could be insider information and something I shouldn't read out loud, and I don't know if I'll even be able to read it. Where is it? I saw it come in. There it is. Ooh! Oh, I love this. This is from Gordon. I don't look spectacular either, which is very cute. Now, I don't know. Gordon, am I allowed to share this image of you with us? And if you don't want to, I understand, because I come from a long line of monsters. So, not that you're a monster. I'm the monster. Okay, good. So Gordon says, A-okay. And I'm going to show you a terrible avatar of myself that's coming up. There's Gordon with his glasses. I think they look good. But I know the feeling. I just hate putting on the glasses, and then you go outside and you can't see, and then they fog up. And if you're wearing a mask, they fog up. It's just horrible. Oh, I'm looking at Gordon, but you're not looking at Gordon. It helps if I could see what I was doing. There's Mr. Gordon. Yay, it's Gordon. Looking good in the neighborhood. So I will. So these are my glasses. Hello. They multiply my bags. They multiply my hooding eyes, which we're going to talk about in a little while. But at least I can sort of see. But it's a bad look. But Gordon looks lovely as usual and always. So Arthur, the skin doctor, says, do you get compliments on your skin? And I said, no. Thinking to myself, why would I? It's mottled skin. It looks very terrible. Broken blood vessels over here from the sun, not from drinking. But I always say yes, because usually when I'm out with people, I'm wearing my mask, so no one could give me a compliment. And then he believes in this blue light therapy. For many of his clients, especially if you have skin problems, that is caused by skin damage, because it's supposed to stop, somehow, future skin damage by somehow UVing it properly now so it goes away and doesn't erupt. And so far my insurance is paying for it, and I don't get charged a copay, so why wouldn't I go? So you sit there in front of this giant machine that encapsulates your face. It's like 12 or 13, they look like fluorescent tubes to me. Very bright light. You used to have to wear glasses, but he doesn't do that anymore. You just close your eyes, because it's like suntanning. And for about 9 minutes, you just sit there, and the machine is whirring around you, and you close your eyes, and you slowly, especially if you have sensitive skin, start to feel the burn. And it does, it burns you. So you might not be able to see, but my face is slightly red. And then you come home, and then half an hour later, you think, oh boy, that's a burn. What? Arthur thinks it's working. And who am I to argue? He's taken care of me so far. He is the doctor who many years ago discovered that I had shingles. I went to him, he was there, he was able to see me. I ran over in the rain, He took one look at me and said, "That is shingles. How long have you had it?" And I said, "Well, this is my third day." He said, "You've got to take these antivirals. I'm going to prescribe to you right now, today, when you leave here, because if you go into a fourth day, you're going to have pain and uncomfortableness for 4 months instead of 2 weeks." And I said, "Hmm." And he said, "I'm going to give you a special lotion, and you put it all over your scars, all over the outbreaks." And it was on my face. Luckily and unluckily, I still have some scars here. "And put it on 3 times a day, or you're going to have very deep and terrible scars." I said, "Okay." He said, "Now, this is my guess," I think as a 70-year-old doctor at the time, "and I'm going to biopsy it, but right now, go." So I ran over, went to Duane Reade, got my antivirals, took it, went back in a week. He said, "Yes, it's shingles. Did you take the medication?" I said, "Yes." He said, "How do you feel?" I said, "I feel terrible." He said, "That's good. You'll only feel terrible for another week, and then it will slowly go away." And it was all true. I was very lucky that he took care of me. And it was very close to Christmas time. I mean, that week. And he was still working, because most doctors, no matter who you are, those 2 weeks in December, they're gone. I was very, very lucky. I didn't know what the problem was. I just couldn't sleep for 3 days with terrible pain in my face. So they caught the subway shooter yesterday. Now that was really interesting, because when the news broke, it was NYPD success, and they were joyous. "We found the guy. He shot up our streets. We, NYPD, boots on the ground, we got him. Not the FBI, not ATF. We, the NYPD, found the guy on the street and arrested him." And then later you find out that, yeah, the NYPD arrested him, but it wasn't guys on patrol looking for him. It was some shopkeeper on the east side who knows everybody in the neighborhood, which is great. It's called Eyes on the Street. And he said, "I think that's the guy." And another person said, "I think that's the guy too. Call 911. And the guy said, "I don't think I want to call 911. I don't know if it's the guy." So then he looked over at the stoplight and saw a police car and went over there and he said, "Hey, I think that's the guy." And then the police said, "Okay, we'll check it out. Describe him to us." He said, "Well, he's right there. He has a blue shirt on and he's wearing a backpack and he has a hat on." And NYPD said, "Okay," they arrested him, done. So I hope that guy who went over and talked to the police gets his $50,000 reward from Crime Stoppers or whatever, because he deserves it. He's the one who found the guy, not NYPD. They made the arrest. He told them where he was. Well, yesterday we had a very interesting stream, and we discussed the subway shooting. And I showed video and images that have been seen everywhere, all around the world, on the local news, on social media, and yes, my friend, even on YouTube. So, and when I'm done with this show on Twitch, I then download the show file from Twitch. It's always about 6 gigabytes, so it's a big file. For a 2-hour show, it's a big file. And then I download it, and then I upload it over to YouTube, just to save it, allegedly, forever. And there's supposed to be some kind of automatic way where you can tell Twitch to export your stuff to YouTube automatically, but Twitch people say it doesn't really work. You have to do it yourself. So I do it myself. I upload it. YouTube checks for DMCA violations, which they sometimes think they find, but they don't. And I protest it, and there's a process in place. So I set everything up. Very happy. No DMCA. Everything's clear. Okay. And then about 6 hours later, I'm here at home, and Jenna Marie is now home, and we're chatting, and I get this email from YouTube. And yes, I'm writing a Boles blog article about this today. And YouTube says, "Hey, you know that show you uploaded today? Well, we have age restricted that show. because of gore and inappropriate blood. You have violated our community standards. How dare you, young man? And I'm thinking, wait a minute, is that today? The 13th, is that today? I asked Jan, I says, today the 13th? And she said, yeah. Because I've had some other shows that were kind of graphic and gory. But I couldn't think, what did I talk about today? We talked about veganism, we talked about Gordon the Spices. What? I said, well, the subway shooting? And I thought, well, there were a couple of shots of blood. But that's everywhere. And YouTube said, what if you disagree with our violation, because we've age restricted this, so if people are not logged into YouTube, they can't watch a video. And if they're under 18, they can't watch a video because what you posted is dangerous to the community. What? If you disagree with this, you can appeal. Click on this button. So I immediately said, Marie, I'll be right back. I went, you have 800 characters to make your case. And I'm very proud that after editing and everything, I got 800 characters exactly. And I'm going to cut and paste that into my article later. Saying, hey, YouTube, hi. I can't imagine what is too disgusting for you to allow anyone to look at it. But if it's about the subway shooting, it's been on YouTube, it's been on the evening news, people are talking about it, it's on social media, it's everywhere. So I don't know why that is being age restricted, because there are people who were involved who are under the age of 18. It happened right in front of a high school. And they said, we'll carefully review your disagreement with our decision. And I thought, score. Because every time they hit me with a DMCA violation, I appeal it, and there's a process. I say, I disagree with this. I have a commercial license. You cannot take down my stuff. And then the opposing party who filed the DMCA thing has 30 days to respond, and usually they never do. So far for me, they never have. But I have to wait 30 days to clear my name. But there's a process in place. So victorious with my 800 character response, I go and sit back in the living room with Jan and Marie. And 1 minute later, I get an email from YouTube saying, we carefully reviewed your disagreement with our decision to age restrict your video, and we have denied you. It's staying age restricted. And I'm very upset, not necessarily angry, but it does make me laugh because I know this is all AI. I'm talking to computers. Robots are making these decisions about AI. There is no human in the world who can review a complaint that quickly and look at the video. Now, what's very interesting is in their first email to me, they said, it's very important, for the safety of the community, that your title and the description of your video is very detailed so we know exactly what's in your video. And I'm thinking, well, that was my mistake. I said we talk about the subway shooting in New York City, blood on the platform, something like that. If I said we talk about what happened today in New York, I don't think anything would have happened. But their AI, their robots, read my description, gore, blood, New York. Oh my God, we have to age restrict this. So I'm sitting there with Janet Marie, and she says, well, I watched a lot of the show today. I don't know what that is. And I showed her, some of the images and said, well, I guess that's blood, but that's the news is what happened. How can you age restrict the news? Now that's an article. So I've always been very, very wary of Google because they release things like Google Reader and they take them back. I've been a paid consultant of Google. I wrote the very first book when it was called Google Apps for Your Domain that was ever released. And all of our important videos of teaching, of learning, go on Vimeo. I made a decision very early not to put any of our stuff on YouTube because of this. And we pay like $275 a year to have our stuff safely stored on Vimeo. We've never had a takedown notice. We've never been accused of violating community standards of gore and blood on Vimeo. And now, 4 months on YouTube, we have, 10 DMCA notices and 1 age restriction. And I can't put the live show, video on demand, on Vimeo because they allow me 20 gigabytes of uploads a week on my current plan. Now, I could go unlimited, but that's very expensive. And at 6 gigs a shot, you can see I would run out of room very quickly if I ever want to post, a teaching video on Vimeo. So I'm sort of stuck with YouTube and their vulgarities. And then I remember Ludwig. I'm not a fan of Ludwig. Big streamer on Twitch. A lot of followers. He decided to leave Twitch at the invitation of YouTube because YouTube wants to be a streaming platform. So they're going after some of these successful Twitch streamers and I guess paying them, bribing them to come over. Hey, be in our live stream here on YouTube. And Ludwig posted a video. He said, after 1 day of streaming my show that I've been doing for 7 years on Twitch with no notices, YouTube hit me with 4 DMCA takedown notices on my first show. And he's basically a YouTube employee. And you can see in his eyes, he's thinking, why did I come here? What have I done? And then I think of, I have done shows and podcasts that get uploaded to YouTube. The Rape of Marley Mallon and about William Hurt. Now, there's no gore and violence, but the topic seems not to be age appropriate. That, so far, has not been age restricted. And when I first got that notice, hey, we've restricted your video, it's just disgusting, I thought that's what it was. Because there have been a couple of people who posted really weird things on that video. And I thought, oh, okay, that's their next step. They're complaining about the content. They're trying to get it taken down, and YouTube's going along with it. But it wasn't that. It was yesterday's show. And it still puts me in a little bit of a tizzy. But what are you going to do? You're sort of stuck. Because this is the world in which we live. And so far, we're not age restricted on Twitch. Now, you cannot be on Twitch if you are under the age of 13. Twitch is filled with kids under the age of 13. So I guess if you're 14, 15, 16, 17, you can see it. It's not a violation. But on YouTube it would be if you're 14, 15, 16, 17. Violated. Gore. But this is the world in which we live. Gore. I don't know, how do they handle the Ukraine-Russian stuff? Do they age restrict those videos too? Of missiles shooting down helicopters with people in them. And I know that this is a problem with YouTube. They have unfair policies. And people who know and who've been hit say, do you know how much porn there is on YouTube? And there's people who put up chess videos and say, coming up next. And the things they get reported from their viewers filled with porn stuff. But that's okay. That YouTube will publish and promote. It's a little tough. It's a little disingenuous. But this is the world in which we spin. And now we're coming back momentarily because we're going to take a little bit of a break. It looks like an ad is already running, but I'll hit the ad button anyway because I know everyone's on a different ad schedule. So I guess we'll see what happens. I will be back in a moment. And we are back from break. This is Boles.tv, BOLES.tv. I'm David Boles, and we are here with you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Well, all over the news this morning is that Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter, and it's going to be a disaster because he's a nut. It's not going to be good for the program. If you want special services, you're going to have to use Dogecoin to pay for it. I know how to do that, but I would say 95% of the people who use Twitter and who buy things from them have no idea how to pay with Dogecoin. And it will absolutely mean the return of Donald Trump. All the trolls will be back, and they will be enabled by Elon Musk. And do you think he cares about Twitter? No, I think he's a troll, and he has a lot of money. He has $100 billion more than Jeff Bezos, and he's bored, and he just likes to stir up trouble. So that's going to be very disappointing if that actually happens, and I think that a lot of people, important people, people who know how to do things at Twitter will quit. They're not going to work for him. Because how do you work for a person who's insane? So yesterday, my new, this is very complicated, Ledger Nano S Plus arrived yesterday from France. And let me see here. I don't have my glasses on, and I'm too vain to put them on right now. So this is my original Ledger wallet. This is what it looks like. Has some kind of writing on the back. We've discussed this before. But not the new one. I think this is the X, maybe, or just the regular S without the plus. And it has buttons at the top, and you plug it into your computer. This is a USB Mini B port, which is very unfriendly, very small. And then you put in your PIN code, and then you approve transactions with the software that runs on your computer. And the reason that people like a hardware wallet rather than a software wallet is that you have to physically have control of this, so they can't steal your information with your computer or via some kind of malware, because you have to approve everything that happens in your wallet using this. So that's helpful. However, this version, which I got when it came out 5 years ago, really can only hold 2 coins. And at that time, there were only 2 coins. Now there are probably 200 kinds of coins. So this, you can have, in my experience, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that's it. There's no more room. There's no more memory for this to have more than 2 coins on it. And then the idea is you hide this, you have it somewhere, and no one can get it, and your NFTs and your money are safe. People call this cold storage, long-term storage, because it's slightly a hassle to plug this into your computer, to log in with your PIN code, to approve this and that and that and this, and to make a transaction. Whereas when you're dealing with a web browser soft wallet, a software wallet, you just say it goes to your browser, we're waiting for approval from your phone, and you pick up your phone and you say, I approve. And your money's gone and you're buying. So some people feel there's some danger in that, but I don't think there's a lot of danger. I guess people say this is 98% safe and a software wallet is 96% safe. So it's really nothing to be too concerned about. My philosophy is if you have a storage of Bitcoin, keep it on this. In my software wallet, which I use mainly for gas fees, I keep very little money in there. And if I need to pay for something bigger, I move the money from here to my software account, spend it, and then it goes back down to 0. So there's never anything in my wallet that's of any real intrinsic value that could be drained or stolen. Now, I guess you could steal NFTs if you wanted to, but I don't really have anything in there that anyone would want, other than me. And this is the new, and you can see they changed their logo. That's the new logo. This is the old logo. And they're about the same size. It says some little funny saying on the back, too. Oh, where's the funny saying? Resilience by design. And this says, I can't remember what this says. I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on. But I knew what it meant when I first bought it. It meant something interesting. But at least I know how I could. If I look at these, I can tell which one's new. But just because the logo is new. It's all very confusing. But this one is the new one. And this one is super duper friendly. It has bigger buttons, as you can see. This one has very tiny buttons that can hurt your fingers. This has big fat buttons on it. And the new one is USB-C. Whoops. USB-C port, which is much friendlier. And then you plug it into your computer, and you put in your PIN. And this one can hold like 50 times as much information as the old one. So you could have 20 coins on here, and they're apps. The Bitcoin apps, or you're installing apps that let you manage your wallets. Now, let me see if I can plug this in. Plug it into USB-C. Now, I plugged this in USB-C to USB-C yesterday, and while it lights up, it does not allow you to set it up. They want USB-C in and regular USB-C into your computer. But that's what it looks like. Very bright. You see how bright that is? And they want me to input my PIN. Enter your PIN. And they recently changed it because you have to use these buttons to pick the numbers of your PIN. Anywhere from 4 to 8 numbers. And you go up and down. One goes up, one goes down. One goes up, one goes down. And I guess people who were shady were counting the clicks. Let's say, okay, the first number is right click 3, second number is left click 2, right? To figure out the PIN number. And when they have your PIN, they have access to everything on this. So they changed it up where it's a randomized beginning number. So sometimes you go up 2, sometimes you go up 1, left, right. It all depends on what the first number is, which was very, very smart. A smart company. And if you lose this, because it's a hardware wallet and not a software wallet, you have a passcode system of 24 words. And when you set this up, it gives you the 24 words. It says first word is this, second word is this. You go all the way through 24. And you have to write it down. And then when you're done, they quiz you. They go, is number 17 this word, that word, or this word? You pick, and you pick, and you pick, and you pick, and you go through all 24. They say, okay, you've written it down correctly. Because if you lose this, you can recover this strategically by saying, I lost my wallet, but I have my passcodes to get in. And you can recreate this using your 24 passwords. And then the problem is, what do you do with the 24 words? They want you to write it on a piece of paper, but if someone finds that piece of paper, they can steal this and have control. So some people say, well, you put it in your safe deposit box. There are crypto things you can buy that are metal on metal, that engrave metal, and then you etch all 24 words on this metal piece, and then you paint over it, and you draw a flower, and you put it on your wall. It looks like a piece of artwork when it's really hiding your Bitcoin treasure. Some people use secure password managers that are backed up and heavily encrypted. That works too. But once you write it down on a piece of paper, I say tear up the piece of paper. Put it somewhere else and tear it up, unless It's securely placed somewhere like a safe deposit box. Now, what's interesting with software wallets, to recover a software wallet that like runs in your browser, like MetaMask or CoinDesk wallet, their passphrases are only 12. Whereas a hardware wallet is 24. So that tells you right there which one is more secure. Because if you're storing the same amount of stuff in a software wallet and a hardware wallet, and it takes you 24 passwords to get into a hardware wallet and half that, only 12, to get into a software wallet, well, this is much more secure. Now, what I find super interesting is these software wallets know that they are vulnerable and that people don't really trust these things that run in a browser, even though you have to approve them with your phone. So MetaMask and CoinDesk Wallet have now chosen to integrate with the hardware wallet. So you set up the software wallet, installing it, and then you say, because you have this in your hand, I already have a wallet. And they say, is it a Ledger wallet? In this case, and you say, yes. And they say, okay. And then they connect the software to this, and then you have the ease of buying stuff online through the browser, and then you approve it instead of clicking yes on your phone. You plug this in, you type in your PIN, and you say yes here. So it's more secure, it's better, people like it. The only complaint I have is this is the cord that they give you. This plugs into the computer, and it only worked with this cord. Every other cord I had didn't work. I don't know why. It shouldn't make a difference. It's braided, it's nice, but very short. So it's in the computer here, and you're trying to put in your PIN like this. I need to get a longer cord. And they do sell longer cords, but I didn't buy one because I said, I got all kinds of cords here. But maybe it's some kind of special cord. But for my purposes, it's fine. Now we're going to get into a very interesting topic. When you have NFTs, people like to display them. And I've shown you my OpenSea collection, which is sort of my museum of my NFTs. Well, there's this new special place I think called spatial.io. And if you're a holder, which means if you bought a Tokyo Punk from Sabat, Spatial.io is giving you a special deal on their pro version of their software for a year. You get a year for free. Normally $25 a month. I don't think anybody will ever pay that if they had to. But for free, you say, okay. So I jumped on this morning just to see what it was like, to share it with you. And it's this virtual place where you join, and this is, I believe, sort of what the metaverse is like, or will be like, or is like. And you can set up different rooms. You can set up a house. You can set up a museum. You can set up an auditorium where you can show off your NFTs as pieces of art. Because that's the question you get from a lot of people. Well, you're buying these NFTs. What are you doing with them? Well, one answer is you're going on to Spatial.io and you're putting your art on the walls. Now, I had a lot of problems because I have 43 NFTs. And you click, upload, put them in my gallery, and only about 10 went up. And I talked to Spatial.io. They don't know what happened. Please file a ticket. Not my job to do your technical support. And as you can see in this image, there are two of me. And there are not supposed to be two of me. I don't know why there are two of me, but there are two of me. Now, when you set this up, it says, hey, we want to make an avatar of you. And you think, uh-oh. And they want to use your camera. And I said no, because it was early and my hair was like this. So I used, they say you can upload a selfie of yourself, and we'll use that. So I uploaded my selfie. And then it makes a 3D image of you. Here you are. in all your glory. And at 5:30 in the morning, I screamed. Because this is what, and I'm not in the right screen, this is Spatial I.O. These are my avatars, and we'll take a tour in a minute. But this is the 3D avatar they created of me. With my terrible Eastern European, Czechoslovakian bags under my eyes and my hooded eyes. Now, the hooding I don't like. The bags I can't do anything about, but the hooding is because of aging. And I know this because the last time I saw my eye doctor 2 years ago, but now we're going in 2 weeks, she would always pull up my eye to look deep into my eye. And I'd say, why are you pulling up my eye? And she said, well, your eyelids are hooding. I said, what do you mean hooding? And she said, well, they've fallen a little bit as you age. And I said, well, hooding, that sounds like a negative term. Could we call it slightly umbrella-ing? And she said, she did not laugh, the term is hooding. So this is the horror that Spatial I.O. believes is me. And I fully accept it, because what can I do? I can try to redo the avatar, which I'm going to do. I tried to do it earlier, but it saw this, my background, as my beautiful hair. So it looked like this, but with beautiful hair. So I decided that what I need is a white background. So I sort of have a white background here in this semi-white pillowcase that I will put behind me. And we'll see if this will work a little bit better as my avatar suppressant. Maybe I need to turn it this way. And we'll see if I can get a better picture. Now I know I need to open my mouth, smile, show my teeth. Yeah, okay. Take off my headphones. Unhood my eyes. And we're going to see in real time if I can get a better avatar. I am not hopeful, but I will try. So let's see, we go here. I think we go to settings. No. Oh, maybe I click on this. Do I click on this? I had it. I did it once already, so it can't be that hard. No, that's not it. It wants me to change my name of my room. Okay, now wait a minute. I had it for a second. Ah. What does it say? Oh, you. Okay. It's not letting me change it. Show on screen, add portal, add content, which was a problem. And I guess the ultimate idea of being pro, because there's a free version, which gives you all this, but the idea of having a pro version is you can invite people into your world and like have a conference with them in voice and video, and then show off your art, I guess. So if you're like an NFT creator and you have something new to show, you can show it in this art gallery. Okay. Pair headset control, help, delete space, clear content, service template, leave audio, environment, settings. I thought it was under settings. No, it's not. So, maybe it was leave. Okay, I have to leave this room. Leave the lo-fi room. I did not create that name, by the way. Yes. And maybe I click on here. Edit profile, content, integrations, create team. I guess that's so you can invite people to be on your team. Upgrade. No, thank you. Edit profile. Oh, this is it. Okay. And you can choose to have the body type of a man or a woman. They don't say that. They just say man or woman, but you can tell by the faces and the bone structure that they are male and female. So this is what Spatial I.O. thinks I look like in real life. This is my avatar, and I'm frankly terrified. So I'm going to click on this edit. Create a 3D avatar. Oh boy, here we go. Now I got to make sure I'm here and right, because this is a different camera. It's using my, it says it's using my Elgato, but it's using my Logitech Brio. So I'm going to take this off. Okay. I'm going to hunch down so I can get the white all around. I have to unhood my eyes, and I have to smile. I think it looks good. Now I choose my body type. I'm going for the boy again. Or the undetermined male. And this is the terrifying part, as it's generating what it believes you look like in real life. Will it work? Oh my God. Do we like it better? Are the eyes unhooded? That's the most important question. The bags we can't fix. The unhooded, oh, it does look better. Looks like I've had a facelift. I find this acceptable as an avatar. So I can change my skin tone. I can change my shirt color. I tried all the different shirt colors, and there was only one that really worked. I'll show you. See, there's just that leftover, see the black, it doesn't look good. I like the idea, but the execution, they want you to have a black shirt. So, I'll go black. Skin color, I can go lighter or darker. It does your arms. Oh. And not your ugly face. And you see my face is a little red from my UV burn yesterday. I'm not seeing a lot of red in my options for arms. Oh, this is just frightening, dude. I guess that's close enough. I'm going to say it looks good. I'm accepting myself. It's almost as horrifying in AI as it is in real life. I'm calling that a win. Save. Profile saved. Thank you very much. Now I go back. It's better than it was, I have to say. It looks slightly uncanny. But that's okay. And it used my real shirt, which I sort of like, because it's a Boles shirt. Now here's my home, which they have decorated for me. I don't really understand why. I guess I can make it my own, but as you can see in this space, there is nothing here that belongs to me. These are all things that they've put up. Now maybe I can self-decorate it. I don't know. I don't know if that's a window or a hole in the wall. And I'm very new to this. I have not really played with this at all. But if I click add, and let's try to put up an ugly kitty. Let's see if we can put up ugly kitty Yoda. Oh, it worked. Well, that's sort of cute. Can I put it in the window? Okay. Now that's fun. Oh, it's not on the window. It's just in space. Oh, I'm in the fire. Okay. Oh, that looks weird too. I'm new at this. Can I make it bigger? No. Okay. Well, we added Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda ugly kitty, as they say. So we're going to leave here. And now we're going to go into our other rooms. We'll go back to lo-fi because this is the one that I had the least success with in trying to figure out how to make all this work. So here we go. So there I am. This is my new unhood. Oh no! What happened? What happened? That's my own picture. Okay, that's my new picture. Better, right? Better. Now we can see, we'll just look around the room. We can see there are a lot of empty frames. Now when you upload all of, and my double is back as well in this room. The empty frames are not supposed to be empty. They're supposed to be filled with my NFTs, but they're not. And you can just, I guess you can also walk with the keys somehow. I don't know. Doesn't really make sense. And then you upload all of your NFTs, and then they're supposed to be randomly displayed in the area in which you pick. And some of them uploaded, and some of them didn't. None of my ugly kitties uploaded for some reason. And I mentioned it to the powers that be, and they said file a ticket. Not my problem. So you can go over here and say, oh, look at this. This is a Sabbat. And you click on the picture, nothing happens. But I can invite friends to come see. This is my Sabbat. I haven't wasted my time or my money because I have my own art gallery now. Yeah. And then you can go over here and you can look out this window. Oh, look, it's the ocean. I just still don't know if it's a window or a hole in the wall. But you have it on both sides. Oh, there's an ugly kitty. Let's go over here and look. Now I uploaded this, and it said it was not uploadable. And then we go, oh, look, there's my kitty. There's my Ian Jones. And then I go this away. And it's not there. There's a long frame Sabbat, which I sort of like, that they knew that it was this way and not just a square. Can visit one of my Tokyo punks. And I guess we're supposed to be having a party or something where everybody shows up. Oh, there's a magnifying glass you can click on, but nothing happens when you click on it. Oh, look! I double-clicked, not one click. And then it gives you the information on the NFT, and you can go to the NFT website. Well, that's fun. So really, if you're a creator, put all your stuff in your gallery, and then people go walk around. Oh, I'd like to have that. And they double click. And then they can go buy it on OpenSea. But it's sort of non-intuitive. And it sort of didn't really want to work very well. And there I am. Oh, maybe I can say hello to myself. Is that my old face or my new face? I'm scared to find out. Oh, that's the old me. Oh, but I'm blinking. Hello? Old me. Right? Here's my clown. Uncle Bob. Okay. Some more NFTs over here. Is there anything on this wall? Oh, maybe that's not a wall. Now I have to go over here and explore. I could look out the window a little bit. Ah. There's art on this wall. Which is more Sabbat. Fun. Fun. We go over here. And over here. Oh, see, this is my empty room. And if you click on that, it says upload art. You upload the art and you select it and nothing happens. And this is what happens. You click the add content. These are the ones that they decided to upload for whatever reason. And we haven't seen them all. I don't know where they all are, but I guess we'll find them. And there's stuff. I guess you can, this is not mine. This is from Spatial.io. I guess you can look at this and then decide you want to like decorate your room or something. These are all of my NFTs that were not uploaded. A template? I don't know what that means. Integrations. If you have stuff stored on your Google Drive or Microsoft, your NFTs, you can just say, hey, I want to connect that, auto upload. Maybe that works better. So I'm curious where those other pieces of NFT art are. I haven't seen any Wes Henry. And there was some Wes Henry there to be had. Okay, so no, there's nothing over there because that's the ocean. So it's got to be this way. Okay, there's my party horse. There's a Wes Henry over here. We'll go look at Wes Henry. The birds. Click. 3 little birds, Wes Henry. Beautiful. View it on open sea. So I guess this is the wave of the NFT future. A virtual gallery of your own where you can invite people to come and join you and drink in your NFTs or buy something if you want to. Absolutely terrifying. Now it's that time of day where we're going to take a blood pressure break. Back in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv, and we are sort of live here with you every day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, talking about all kinds of things that consult the human condition. Now, one point that I wanted to remake about a hardware wallet for your NFTs or for your crypto, which I highly recommend for safety. Keep your main stuff here, and then when you want to buy stuff or pay people, move it to your software wallet. So the first exchange is always from you to you. The thing I want to mention is this ships from France, direct from the company. And they ship via DHL. They say it gets here in 3 days. It's usually here in a day and a half. It ships very quickly. They charge a lot for shipping, like $20, but it gets here fast. Now, Ledger will tell you, buy direct from us, do not buy from anywhere else. And I 100% agree with that, because the reasoning is, if you buy a hardware, one of these, on eBay, or even Amazon, you run the risk of some nefarious person opening your box, plugging this in, getting the 24 seed words, I call them passwords, but they're, I guess, called seed words, writing them down, packaging this up, selling it to you. This is on sale for $79, which is very, very, very affordable. Then you load this up with all your Bitcoin, $40,000 for one Bitcoin. And then the person who sold it to you is waiting a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, pretends to recover your wallet using the 24 seeds that they stole from this setup, and they have your money. Now, you hope that wouldn't happen, but I have purchased expensive things from Amazon in the past that were repacked, which means someone bought it, didn't like it, put it back in the box, and sent it to Amazon. And Amazon opened the box, said, well, I guess everything's here. Let's resell it. So how easy would that be? What a scam that would be. I buy this from Amazon. I open it. I set it up. I write down the 24 seeds. I put it back. I send it back to Amazon. Amazon resells it for me. I wait 2, 3 weeks, a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years. I put in the 24 seed words. Everything on this, I now own. So you really, really have to be careful when it comes to a hardware wallet. Software wallets are different. That's between you and your computer. Hardware wallets have to get to you first. Do not buy them in a store. Do not buy an old one from a friend. Do not buy online. Unless you are buying direct from Ledger or whatever hardware wallet's out there. But Trezor is one. Ledger is now becoming the best known. And yes, you're buying from a French company, but you're buying direct from the factory. They are sending it to you direct. You open the box, the chain of custody is safe. You can trust it. Don't trust buying a hardware wallet from anywhere other than directly from the company, please. It's very important. It's your security. It depends on it. Oh, Mr. Gordon said you are very intrigued. I would have seen that if I had my glasses on, but I haven't had my glasses on. I don't know when Gordon said that, but I thank him for the comment. We may be nearing the time where I have to surrender to my vanity and put on my glasses, because I might have to read something. But before I do, I'll tell you a little story. As a student, oh, there's Mr. Gordon. I said that when you showed your new avatar. Oh my God, that was an hour ago. Your eyebrows have that certain intrigued look. Yes, thank you so much. I've learned, yes. That's an ASL expression, Bill. So if I go like that, I get rid of the hooding. And many plastic surgeries that are not successful, where people get their eyes lifted, so they remove the hooding, they always kind of look surprised. I don't mind always looking surprised in my new avatar. Now, I admit I was very tempted when I was redoing my avatar to upload Gordon's photograph of him wearing his glasses and using that as my avatar. But I thought that probably would be unethical, and Gordon would probably know. So I didn't, but I was tempted. Gordon could go to spatial.io himself and upload his avatar and send it to us. But now I wish I did. So when I was a student at Columbia, getting my MFA, we had a wonderful... And the idea at Columbia was you did a little bit of everything. Playwrights learned a little bit of directing, and directors learned about playwriting, and we all sort of took common classes together, but there was also a very sharp and unfortunate demarcation line where you can't do that because you're a playwright. No, directors only direct. But sometimes we took, producing classes together, design classes, so we would all have a shared understanding of what goes into it. And one of our set design instructors, other than Tony Walton, who used to be married to Julie Andrews and who has a big scenery factory in New York City, at least he used to, was Robin Wagner, who was the other big guy in town. There were two big guys in town if you wanted to have a very successful Broadway show. Tony Walton, Robin Wagner. And Robin would come on campus and teach us. And he was just terrific. And we would sometimes go to his studio and he'd show us how everything worked. He was just a wonderful, immeasurably terrific experience. And Robin Wagner told us, he said, look, there's one really important thing you need to know, no matter what your role in the theater is. He said, if you are in the theater and people are saying, and this is in the age of microphones and speakers and audio, so it's not, when I grew up on Broadway, there was no amplification, which I really hate. You had to have the voice to project from the front row to the back row of the balcony. But it's all changed now. It's all audio and speakers everywhere. But Robin said, if people are complaining that they can't hear, I can't hear the actors. And they're going like this. And sometimes they don't say it. You can just tell they're leaning forward. He said, it doesn't mean that they can't hear. It means they can't see. And we all kind of looked at each other and said, well, that's interesting, but what does he mean? He said, when people say they can't hear, the stage needs to be brighter. Now, that's not necessarily a set design thing. That's a lighting thing. But he said, if people are complaining they cannot hear the show, turn up the lights a little bit in pockets if you want moody lighting, but the stage is too dark. And he said that's just part of the normal human condition. That when it's too dark, people rely on their eyes too much, and they feel that their other senses are diminished. Because the eyes are always first. Robin Wagner also very famously said to all of us, and it has stuck with me forever, that wherever the eyes go, the body follows. The eyes lead the body. Now, as a set designer, that's very important. Because where you want people's eyes to go, and then by design, even though they're not moving, their bodies is what you decide to call attention to. And also, generally speaking, if you're designing a city, if you're designing a park, an art gallery, it's very important what you want people to focus on so the rest of the body will understand and follow. And I'm mentioning all of this to you today because of this really interesting article that popped up in my inbox moments before we went live. Now, I'll see if I can read this. I think I can because I made the font a little bit bigger. And the title of this thing is Why We Shout During Zoom Calls If the Image is Blurry. Remember, on stage, if people say they can't hear, it's because the stage is too dark. You shout in a Zoom call because you can't see the image, because it's blurry. If you find yourself shouting and gesticulating wildly if others can't hear you during a Zoom call, you are not alone. The more the video quality of all online meeting degrades, the louder we start talking. A new study by researchers at Rabound University and the Max Planck Institute of Psycholinguistics finds people tend to change their gestures to compensate. Their findings were published today in the Royal Society Open Science Journal. So it makes sense. It's not just people who you see, but people who can't see you. I can't see you. Well, I'll speak louder. When conversing over Zoom, which I like, now some people say conversating. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm very happy they said conversing. When conversing over Zoom or Skype, we use some of the same tactics to make ourselves heard as we use in the real world. If you're talking to someone on a busy area with a lot of background noise, you typically use gestures to support your speech. And you start talking louder. When we talk in a video call, any issues that make it harder for people to understand each other usually comes from technical difficulties. However, we still tend to use similar methods to compensate for those issues. Just fascinating. So this is how they set up the study. For this study, they set up a video call between 20 pairs of participants. The participants sat in separate rooms and were told to have a casual conversation for 40 minutes. Now, 40 minutes is a long time to sit there and talk to somebody you don't know. Hey, how are you? I'm fine. How's the weather? Good. What else do you want to talk about? Have you seen Gordon's new glasses? The participants sat in separate rooms and were to have a conversation for 40 minutes. Over the course of the call, the quality of the video deteriorated in 10 steps, from very clear to extremely blurry. Can you hear me? The researchers tracked how participants altered their speech and gestured over the course of the call. I'm giving in to vanity because my friend Gordon said something. He said a heart. At first, when the video quality deteriorated, participants reduced their arm and body movements somewhat, researchers found. I've also found that people can't hear on their cellular phones. They tend to shout. You see them in the subway, on the street. They're screaming into their phone. And I'm saying to them, they have they're talking into the microphone. That's not the microphone. You're speaking into the microphone. It's not a microphone. The microphone is on the phone. The rate, speed, and size of the gestures increased quickly at first, and then reached a certain plateau. Those participants who used gestures during the video call would increase by up to 5 decibels when the video quality started dropping. Even when the image quality decreased so much that participants could barely see each other, they continued to use gestures and talk at a louder volume. It's true. I just love it. I love they quantified it too. What this shows is that speech and gestures are integrated. People are compensating for losing out on visuals by adapting with louder speech and bigger gestures. Even when the image can barely be seen, people don't suddenly stop gesturing. It's similar to how people talk to each other on the phone. We don't see each other, and during an involved conversation, we still move and gesticulate. And I think that's just terrific. Now, I would love to see them do that same setup, but don't interfere with the video signal. Just, we could say, gaslighting. And if you don't know what gaslighting is, I will briefly tell you the story. But Gaslighting was a movie, and it was the story of this husband who decided that he wanted to murder his wife, to kill his wife, by driving her insane. And every night, when they were together having dinner, before she would come into the dining room, he would turn down the lights, the gas lights at that time, very old movie story, turn down the gas lights just a little bit in the room. And she would say during dinner, "Is it getting dark in here?" And he would say, "Dark? What do you mean? It's dark. Everything's fine. Get your eyes checked." And the next day, evening, he'd turn down the lights a little bit more so it was a little bit darker. And she'd say, I think I'm having trouble seeing you because it just seems like the room is getting darker. "Well, it's not dark to me. There must be something wrong with you and your eyes. It's your problem, not my problem." And this went on for a couple of weeks, until finally the room was so dark they could not see each other. And she'd say, "I can't see." And he'd say, "Well, you must be blind because it's very bright. I see you very clearly. You're wearing a blue dress and your hair is a delightful orange." And he drove her so insane that she committed suicide. And he was rid of her. And that is where the term gaslighting that we use today, it comes from. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. You must be the crazy one. So I would love to see this study repeated using the gaslighting technique. Leave the video fine. But in one room, one side of the conversation, just ever so slowly in 10 steps, just turn down the lighting a little. And tell the person whose lights are going down, look, if they mention your lights, don't say anything. Say, "I can see you fine." "Yeah, but you're getting dark." "No, it's fine here." And just see if the other person not goes insane and kills themselves, but if they start speaking louder, to prove Robin Wagner's point that when people can't see, when they can't hear, it's because they can't see, and so they speak a little bit louder. Taking it to the next step, because in the theater you don't speak, it's just you can't see. But in this study, you would speak louder. I think it would be terrific. Also in the news today, this is actually the study we just saw. It's fascinating. It's all quantified, and I'm going to send the link. And I love that the title is "A Multi-Scale Investigation of the Human Communication System's Response to Visual Disruption." If you can't say, you talk louder. Just say it that way. Sometimes, I love academia, but sometimes it's just on the precipice of being a little bit ridiculous. Also in the news, now this has people screaming on Twitter, which I just love, because it proves the point that I made just a couple of days ago, that Mark Zuckerberg is not the most self-aware person that we've ever met in the world. And on his metaverse, and we got a taste of what a metaverse might look like in our virtual NFT gallery. When people want to sell NFTs in Mark's metaverse, they're going to have to give almost half of their profits to Mark Zuckerberg. And that's how he's going to make money, not on companies coming in. He's going to make his money off of creators who are trying to feed their families with their artwork. And I wonder if he ever wonders why people hate him so much. But I don't think he has any idea how much people hate him and how much people loathe him. Because he surrounds himself with yes people. And people who would just say, oh, Mark, you're the most genius guy ever. Oh, isn't it wild that you're going to offer these artists the opportunity to be in the metaverse? And he needs them more than they need him. Well, why don't you just take 50% of what they earn? So he wants 47.5% cut of each transaction. And here's where it gets really, really delicious. The online reactions to Mr. Zuckerberg's plan. The future of work is giving Meta 47.5% of your salary. And how can they deny it? It's that's their plan. I mean, they don't even have a way out. Oh, well, you misunderstand. Well, it's a certain percentage. No, it's not. It's half. Facebook charging 47.5% for every NFT sale is the best thing to ever happen to us. Now that's criminally delicious. Because that artist is saying we will never, ever go on the metaverse. We're not giving Mark Zuckerberg anything. 47.5% for Facebook creator sales fees? Yeah. Okay, Zucky boy. And there is Zuckerberg being assaulted by what appears to be a now not bored ape. Which I find delicious. Here's an actual bored ape. If we pay the 47.5 transaction fee, that's not like even a gas fee that he's charging. It's not. It's half the price of what you're charging for your NFT is what he's taking. So if you want to make $1,000, you have to charge $2,000 in the metaverse. Whereas if you go on the artist's website or an OpenSea, you can get it for $1,000. I'm sure he's going to want exclusivity, but good luck with that. If we pay the 47.5 transaction fee, can Meta at least give us the other half of our bodies? Now, that, if you don't know, in the metaverse, you only have the top half of your body, which we also saw in our gallery. I only had half a body, only the torso. The legs and the feet don't matter. In an art gallery of the metaverse. Oh, delicious. Here's another, looks like bored ape. No one. Zuckerberg. I'm more of a glass 47.5 full kind of guy. Don't mess with artists, I'm telling you. They're smart. They're cunning. They're hungry. They don't want to be messed with. They don't want to be gaslighted. Oh no, 47.5, that's cheap. Mark originally wanted to take 80%. And you're not being grateful for 47.5? They're not putting up with it. So at the heart of the issue is a philosophical point about how metaverse should be constructed. A metaverse is any digital world that's frequented by large groups of people. Think Second Life or even games like World of Warcraft. The question is whether the next wave of metaverses, shepherded in by the world's biggest social media company, should be closed or open. A closed metaverse is one run by a central authority, where lands and items are owned by the company that built the world. An open metaverse allows people to buy and own metaverse land and items as NFTs and exchange them for cryptocurrency. I find the whole thing fascinating and extremely bizarre. Crypto boosters say that buying an in-world item as an NFT allows you to truly own it. You can sell it, trade it, or hold it as an investment, just like real-life items. It appears that Meta is aiming to replicate some of this benefit. As Zuckerberg said on Monday, clearly, the ability to sell virtual goods and be able to take them with you from one world to another is going to be an important part of the metaverse. All I say to that is yuck. Nobody asked. Nobody wanted it. Nobody needs it. Nobody is asking you. It's terribly unfortunate. But what are you going to do? You're dealing with a megalomaniac. Not that I'm not one myself, but I would never take 47.5% of anything from anybody. It's just ridiculous. I mean, agents of authors and publishers take 10%. Some managers take 15%. Now, if you're super duper successful, there are stories of in the 70s and 80s when Al Pacino was a big superstar and making a lot of money, that his agency, in order to keep him because he was threatening to leave, said, look, we can take 10%, but we want you to stay with us, and we're going to lower our fee to 2%. And we'll still do all the work and represent you. But because you're being so successful, 2% to us is really equal to 10%. And Al said, okay. So those are smart people who change with the times, who move. I don't know what Mark Zuckerberg was thinking. Would he give up 47.5% of anything that he owns or creates? He wouldn't give the Winklevosses the fart from his poop when it came to Facebook. He said, you own nothing. You get nothing. Yes, we were at Harvard together. Yes, we were sort of involved. Early investor, early friend. But now you want to be paid? You want a piece of my magnificence? You get nothing. But when it comes to artists, oh, well, that's different. I get half. Oof. Talk about bad mojo. And what he has a lot of bad mojo going into this metaverse. He has to think some things. And there's money to be made. There's, as we talked several months ago, about this guy who spent $400,000 to buy a plot of land in some metaverse somewhere. So he could build a house, a virtual house, not a real house, next to Snoop Dogg. $400,000 for a virtual plot of land that does not exist anywhere except in that one specific metaverse. That I find insane. And sort of sad. And kind of unfortunate. But this is the world in which we spin. And we've had a wonderful, interesting show today, and I thank you so much for being here. This afternoon, I'm going to be writing my YouTube takedown. My age restriction of the news, which I find highly contemptible, while also being very funny. I don't know if I can capture that lightning in a particular blog article, but I'm going to try. And we explored the metaverse. We tried on our glasses. We were able to successfully, I say, remove our hooded eyelids from our virtual avatar. Not necessarily looking better, but looking less ugly. So until tomorrow, I wish you a good day, a lovely evening, and I hope you have a wonderful nap. And when you awaken, may your soul be filled with joy and a renewed appreciation of life. If you want to send me your thoughts and comments, you can email me, david@boles.tv. On Twitter, you can super follow @DavidBoles. On Facebook, we're regular old Boles. Instagram, Boles Books. TikTok is Boles TV. And here's our Discord server if you're interested in joining us in text or chat to be a part of this live show. Just go, sign up, say hi, find me, and we'll get you set up. I have to give you access. So have a lovely bye. I'll see you tomorrow.